Hi Sagittarius, happy birthday and welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your December 2021 love reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, that's why I call it a bridging the gap spread. And the way it works is we'll look at the past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and your main love interest. Once we get through all that, we'll pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. As far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as the energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have Contemplation. So this is actually Virgo energy, the equivalent of the Hermit card in traditional tarot. So for some of you, this could just be saying that you might have a lot of focus on your career at this time, but basically when you are pulled away from that temporarily, I feel like you're thinking about this person. That could just be saying that there's a physical distance between the two of you as well. I mean, given the fact that it looks like he's doing some art and there's even a musical instrument in the room, could just be saying that some of you might even just be on tour somewhere or something like that. But yeah, I do get the feeling more than anything that there's physical distance between the two of you. But when you do get a moment when you're away from your work, I feel like you are thinking about this person, or at least you were in the past, I should say. Past energy on their side. We have the Queen of Swords, which is Libra energy, and the Ace of Chalices. It's the equivalent to the Ace of Cups. So yeah, at the very least, I feel like there's some desire on their part as well. And we almost see that similar energy as far as she has her back turned on the cards on your side. And then it also looks like she's looking at some kind of a painting, right? It doesn't look like someone that's physically with her. So could just be saying that you guys are mirroring each other and heavily on each other's minds, but it doesn't look like there's direct communication around that. But at the very least, it looks like this person does desire to take things there with you. Alright, and the present position on your side, we have the Four of Cups. So this is Cancer energy here, and just usually represents an energy of disappointment with what's being offered to you. But the frustration comes in with this card more than anything, with the fact that there's the disappointment with what's being offered, but at the same time not necessarily taking action to go after what you do want, right? Or communicate that it's not what you want. So this could represent love offers coming from other people, for example. Or again, it could just be that you just have a lot of other things on your plate right now that's pulling you away physically from this person. And like I said, there could still be that physical distance between the two of you that's an obstacle as well. Alright, present energy on their side, we have the High Priestess, which I usually view as Pisces energy, and then we have the Queen of Wands, which is Aries energy. So this usually points to a lack of communication where, this could be a person just relying primarily on their intuition to figure out what's going on with someone as opposed to outright coming forward toward them. But then the Queen of Wands is a pretty big contrast to that energy. So for some of you, this could just be saying that they might come out of that energy of just being more withdrawn and relying on their intuition and actually coming forward and expressing themselves. But I do have to say, for others of you, I could also see this pointing to a similar energy to what I see there with the Queen of Swords, where it's like waiting for the other person to take the lead, but having that passion underneath it, right? So not necessarily expressing it, where we saw the Ace of Cups in the past there. Now we see this passionate energy hidden beneath the High Priestess here. So it could just be one of those things where they're holding themselves back. Alright, and future energy on your side, we have a few cards. We have the Two of Staves, which is Aries energy. Transformation, which is the equivalent of the Death card, and that's Scorpio energy. And we have the Ten of Arrows, which is Gemini energy. So, seeing these three cards in particular for you, this represents the energy of taking a fresh start towards something. Fifth house energy for you guys too. So if there was some kind of a creative project, like I said, some of you might be touring musicians, for example. Obviously, not all of you, I'm guessing, but at least some of you, that could be a similar theme to where at least you're traveling for work quite a bit. Looks like you might be wrapping that up, right? Coming to the end of that cycle and possibly communicating around that, hey, I'm actually able to come back toward you now, right? That's one way I could see it playing out. Another way, for some of you, you might decide that the frustration within the connection due to the lack of communication or due to the physical distance might lead you to finally look elsewhere, right? Because we do see his back is turned to the cards on that side. So you could just be saying, all right, this on again, off again type of cycle isn't really working for me. I'm going to put it to an end, right? So like I said, I can see that going either way. There is going to be a full moon in Gemini in December, so it could point to that timeline as far as the fact that this is Gemini energy. But for more of you, I'm leaning more toward this is actually saying that you're actually going to get out of your head around the situation, because Scorpio energy for you guys is your 12th house, and your 12th house has a lot of energy in it at the time of recording this. We still have the Sun, Mercury, and Mars all in there, and that's all your 12th house. So you could just have a lot going on in your heads right now. And as those transits progress, you might actually finally come out of that. And like I said, especially around that Gemini full moon, I feel like this is saying some of you might communicate what you're feeling. Because if we look at the arrows, there's the 9 arrows together and then the 1 separate. So to me, it makes me think of the 9 of Swords energy, a lot of losing sleep, a lot of anxiety, and then that 1 makes me think of the Ace of Arrows. So, and it's pointed in their direction. So yeah, for some of you, could just be saying, hey, whatever you're working on, you're probably going to be wrapping it up soon, and you're actually going to be able to come toward this person. All right, and future energy on their side, we have the Fool and the King of Wands. So it's interesting how it always seems like the more passionate energy is hidden beneath the first one with this person. So it could just be saying that they're hiding a lot of their passion for you. That's certainly one way I could see it playing out. But seeing the Fool followed by the King of Wands, to me, does say that they are probably going to take that leap and express themselves around their feelings for you. Now, for some of you, this could take to as long as possibly during Aquarius season when we have the full moon in Leo. So that would be like early in February. So that is a possibility because it's just a future position for a reading done in December. So that's a possibility. But yeah, it does look like for sure that there's passion, and it seems to just be growing as time goes on. So maybe that could actually be the spark that leads them to want to take that chance with you. All right, bottom of the deck on your side, we have the 7 of Arrows. So 7 of Arrows usually points to deception. And what always stands out to me with the artwork in this deck in particular, though, if we look at her facial expression, she doesn't look very happy, right? So as opposed to in the traditional tarot decks, the 7 of Swords person looks like they're happy to be getting away with what they're doing. I don't really get that vibe from this deck, right? So some of you just could just be saying that maybe you've been having more casual encounters, right, to possibly keep your mind off of this person, but you might just find that they're not necessarily fulfilling, right? For some of you, there could just be, this could also point to a lack of communication between the two of you that I mentioned, because this is Aquarius energy, which is your 3rd house communication. So it could just be saying that maybe you've been holding a lot back, possibly even the desire to be with them, right? Because we see the 2 arrows by themselves there, which could represent the 2 people in the relationship, but maybe because of prior wounding, maybe you weren't comfortable expressing that. So that's one way I can see that playing out. The good thing is, though, beneath that, I actually see the Prince of Staves, which is the court card for Sagittarius. So could just be saying that you guys will be feeling more like yourselves and ready to take action soon. So yeah, like I said, part of this could just be due to the fact that there's so much energy in your 12th house, and that could be kind of a tough transit to take sometimes. You know, you might feel like your mind is overactive, but at the same time, you might struggle to actually take action. All right, and bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Sun. So yeah, To me, this almost represents, like I was saying, it seems like there's hidden passion in each of the positions in their spread. So to see the sun at the bottom of the deck, I feel like that more symbolizes that they will be coming out more with that passion as opposed to, concealing it like they seem to be doing at this time. All right, so moving on to the Oracle cards. First, we'll see what we get from Aqua Moonlight deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck, and what we're going to be looking for is unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. I'm going to look for jumpers first, but if I shuffle for a while and nothing comes up, I'll actually just put the deck down and we'll pull a card. So let's see if we get anything. Oh, got one, but it fell. All right, so next we'll see what we get from them to you, and then I'll pick up that card from your side. Okay, got one there. So let me go pick up that card from your side. All right. So we have obligations. There we go. It says, I want to get away from the burdens I have to deal with, but I'm stuck right now. So yeah, that totally makes sense of what I was seeing here. Like I said, especially given that that's 10th house energy for you guys, you could have just had a lot going on with your careers that might have prevented you from being able to really put energy toward the connection with this person. So not too surprising to see that come up. And on their side, we have defensive. It says, I'm not ready to talk. I will only push you away. So interesting energy there, because I didn't necessarily get a defensive vibe from them. We do see the back turned, to be fair, but you guys have that on your side as well. Now, as far as defensive energy, if that's the case, I feel like they'll be coming out of that in the present. Just because that High Priestess with the Queen of Wands beneath it, to me, represents that more open energy. So yeah, maybe you could say it's possible they would have been there in the past with that Queen of Swords, as far as, and even that with defensiveness, I feel like it's more of hiding their feelings as opposed to having an issue with you, let's say, you know what I mean? So it could just be one of those things where they just weren't comfortable with opening up at this time. All right, and lastly, we'll see what we get from the Wisdom of the Oracle. Same situation as far as I pre-shuffled this deck as well, but here we're just looking for one card with general advice to wrap up with. Oh, got one there. All right. So we have a leg up. There's the artwork, and the number is 34. So let's see what you got. Okay, it says receiving help, delegating authority, interdependence. The Oracle's message. You've come to a point where going it alone is no longer optimal for you. Life has a way of presenting you with the perfect people to align with who can give you a leg up during this next phase of your journey. Help comes to you in all the areas of your life where you need a boost. The trick is to accept that aid so freely given. When you embrace interdependence, allowing teamwork and independence to commingle, miracles happen. Now is such a time. So pretty positive message there. And like I said, it looks like you just might have had a lot going on with your career at the very least, and possibly there might have been physical distance between the two of you. The relationship message says relationships that are healthy thrive on interdependence. It's important to recognize that you need others as much as they need you. You must allow people to support you just as you are there for them. This is a time to be vulnerable, to speak up about your needs, and to ask for them to be fulfilled. Trust. You will be met with kindness and love. Don't expect others to read your mind, though. Ask and it is given. So it's kind of funny where it says don't expect others to read your mind, because it almost looks like that's what they're trying to do with the High Priestess energy. But yeah, I will say, like I said, in each of the positions, there's definitely passionate energy beneath the cards we see up top. So at the very least, it looks like they do have passion that they have for you, even if they're holding it back at this time. So it looks like there's definitely potential for the two of you. So I hope that resonated with you guys. Once again, happy birthday, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.